Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're from. Welcome back to the Driveway Podcast. We have a great episode again for you this week. Zachy Cuff, Zachy Cuffs is in the house,
Yeah.
and sorry, I'm a little distracted. I feel bad. I guess I was not ready to start the podcast. I should have just said no, I'm not ready because I'm like struggling to
What's
find a
what's going
place to
on with
put
you?
my phone. I don't know. I'm just struggling to find a good to put my phone.
By the way, Johnny, you look so frat right now.
I feel very
You
much
got the
so.
Barstool
Got the
sweatshirt,
scuba hoodie on and the backwards hat.
backwards hat covering the hair, hair coming through the hat.
hmm
You look great, man. I like this look. This is a good look
Thank
on
you.
you.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. Man, what was I looking at? Oh, it's so painful. Maybe I was watching a movie. I think that's what it was. 22 Jump Street. I was watching
Oh, you're watching.
there's
Nice, nice.
there's some very frat stuff obviously in that because they joined the frat and all that.
hmm
Um
Did you review that on Letterboxd?
like the puka necklace. I did. Did
Oh,
you
you
see what
did.
I gave it?
No, hang on.
I gave it a really bad review
What?
because I wasn't really paying attention to it.
What? Two and a
Yeah.
half.
Yeah, it was brutal. And it really doesn't deserve that. But I think at the same time it does. It's because it's a comedy movie and it's a repeat. And so I feel like there are certain comedy movies you can watch like a million times over. And then
hmm
there are other comedy movies where it's like you can only watch it the one time. It's just funny that first time. Almost kind of like Deadpool. You know how we watched Deadpool that second time this past
Yeah.
summer and we were
hmm
both just like wasn't as wasn't that funny anymore.
No, it was different.
So yeah.
Well then,
Anyways,
yeah, don't watch. You're not allowed to watch 21 Jump Street because you gave that 5 stars.
you're right. I'm not allowed to watch 21 Jump Street. I should resist as much as I could, especially after watching 22. I feel
hmm
like it's going to be tough to go back. Wow, 21 has 5 stars for me.
You gave it a 5 star, yeah.
Crazy. Wow.
hmm
Well,
you know what? That's exactly what happened with Wolf of Wall Street too.
yeah,
With
it did go
with
down.
you.
It
You
did
went
go
down,
down.
it got
Yep.
bumped out for you. So
Yeah.
just don't watch movies again.
Yeah,
That's not
I guess
okay.
so. I guess so. Right now I'm in my new movie era for sure.
Mm. What have you
Not that
seen?
I've been watching new movies, but
Oh,
just
okay.
like
So you're just
I appreciate new movies more because there's a long time in there where I, I wouldn't watch a new movie just because I didn't want to take the chance.
of it
I
being
know that's
bad.
yeah, I
And
know it
that's an
sounds crazy.
insane. That is insane to say, Johnny.
I just wanted to make sure that if I was going to invest 2 to 3 hours into something, I was going to like it. So I was only watching movies that I had watched
Wow,
before and
that
liked.
is a crazy way to look at movies, man. But then
Well,
what? But
look,
then you
I'm
never
out
go.
of it. I'm out of it. I'm
That's
done.
that's like never trying a new food because you're worried you won't like it. You don't eat
You're
no
looking at
foods.
the king
Oh
of them.
my
No,
gosh.
I am getting better. It's with both. I'm getting better at
Mhm.
both. I'm more willing to watch. Like I watched, I know it's not that much, but I watched at least three new movies this summer. It was Amadeus, Midnight Cowboy, and
Chinatown.
Deliverance. Oh, I did watch Chinatown. Yeah, so I watched a fair amount of new movies. Like I said, I'm doing better these days.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So slowly but surely, you're making better progress.
Yeah, I'm making progress. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I promised that it was going to be a Zachy takeover episode. So after that little intro, I want to just kick it to Zach. I want Zach to tell us every detail, his feelings, every thought, every feeling that's going through his body and his bones right now. Because I won't spoil it, but Zach, do you want to take it away and give the
Yeah.
viewers the big news
So if you're a friend of the pod, you already know. But if you're a listener who don't know us in real life or
from
not super close,
Victoria? Shout out Victoria.
Victoria from Australia, you know who you are.
You know who you are.
Um, I am officially in a relationship.
Ah,
Woo!
let's
Yeah,
go.
it's been great. I've been saying, if you know me, you know I've been waiting to get in a relationship
Oh
for
yeah.
many a year.
Yep.
I think it's been 6 years since my last relationship, which
Mm-hmm.
is kind of crazy to think about, but
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm super happy. She is awesome. Her name is Allie. I talked about her a couple episodes back, but
Shout out, Allie.
the episode back we talked about us wanting to pursue the relationship more, and I asked her like officially to be my girlfriend, so I'm officially a taken man, and it feels great. It feels
Wow,
exactly how I thought it would.
Mr. Zach, look at you go.
Yeah. So do you want to hear like the whole story of how it happened, how I asked her?
I want to hear the story for starting from 2016. Take us through the past
Oh
eight
my
years.
gosh, we do not have enough time for that.
Give
Okay,
you
we
Bar you know Barney did the Quinn gave him 90 seconds to explain himself.
I
Give us 90 seconds to explain yourself.
that's it.
No, no, I want more details. I want more
Okay.
details.
So
Um,
freshman year
just
of
the ups and the downs. We
yeah,
can you can you don't have to call out anyone by name if you don't want or whatever. We call people out by name all the time, I suppose, but
right.
just
I'll do
you don't even
initials.
have
How
to
about
do
that?
names. You don't even have to do names or initials. You can just do emotions. Like where are
Okay.
you at emotionally? Do you
Yeah.
feel?
So um, well, I guess the first girlfriend I ever official girlfriend, well, first official title of girlfriend I ever had. You have a question, Johnny?
I was just want to say I know I just asked you to say it, but now I feel like it's very personal. So if you don't want to give up certain information, feel free to
No,
skip whatever you need to skip.
I don't care. I'm not one to withhold info.
Sure.
But my first girlfriend to date was in kindergarten.
Wow. So we're going before
I'm
2016.
gonna give the entire saga
Oh,
of my
good,
dating history. So,
good.
um, first girlfriend was in kindergarten, and then my next actual girlfriend I remember having was in eighth grade.
Wow, you
I dated
dog.
I dated a girl named Liz, and I was a terrible boyfriend at the time. It was a classic
Oh,
middle school relationship where like, oh, we should hang out. Oh, I'm busy, and then we just never ended up hanging out. Um,
I
and
it's good. It's big of you that you can admit that.
I was horrific in eighth grade. So I'm sorry, Liz, if you're listening. No, I should have been better, and I still think about it, even though it was over 10 years ago.
Sure.
But anyway, we move on. And then I didn't really date. I talked to girls in high school, but I didn't have an official relationship in high school until um senior year, where I did Emma,
Hmm.
and that went on for a couple months, and then that ended, and then my next relationship was in college, freshman year, where I dated a girl named Gigi.
Okay.
That I think was the first serious relationship I was in.
Sure.
That
We're
was
kind of in the modern era now.
the
You
modern
brought
era.
us up
Yes,
to the
yes,
modern
yes.
era. Sure. So first serious, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that was the yeah. So
And you were, I mean, you were hopeful this entire time, right? And yeah, do you want to tell the viewers? I mean, just recap the original plan. I feel like I love talking about the original plan for you
like
because it
of
was
how
so hopeful.
I thought my life was gonna shape out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before I entered college, my plan was, guys, it'll be so easy. I'm gonna get a girlfriend in college. I'll date her for all throughout college, and then we'll get married at the age of 22, and
Nice.
then we'll start having kids at 23 or 24.
Wow.
And then I was like, I'm gonna make so much money, and she'll be a doctor, and I won't have to. I won't have to. I'll be a stay-at-home dad. It'll be so
Right.
easy. Life will be so perfect, and it's crazy. It didn't work out like that at all. Didn't even
Crazy.
come close. But
Crazy. So she was going to be a medical school student. You were going to meet a med school
my
student.
wife, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
at 18.
At 18, that is correct.
And she would have been like, wow, this kid is so mature for
Yes, that's
18.
exactly what I was thinking. And she'd be like, "Oh my gosh, I don't even care that I'm in med school and I'm studying all the time.
Let's
Um,
make some babies.
let's make some kiddos." So yeah, so that didn't end up happening. And Zach in 2017 was a bit naive with
Zachy
his
17.
Zachy 17 and
Is
his
that 17 again?
17
Zachy
again. I was
17
about to
again?
say that joke, John.
Oh, shoot. Sorry.
Um, yes, he was a bit naive, didn't really know what the world was or what even himself was looking for. So I'm kind of glad it didn't happen like that because I got to learn so much and grow as a person.
Yeah.
Um, so after dating Gigi, the original girlfriend in 2017, 2018, was it
Hmm.
in 2019? No, it was 2018 through 2019.
Dare we mention how you Found your
Oh
girlfriend.
gosh.
That's classic story.
Okay. This is a 90-second recap. So I made a
Okay.
video freshman year of college basically saying that I was lonely and I wanted a girlfriend for Valentine's Day. And I got spread all throughout the campus buildings and whatnot. And a girl ended up Snapchatting me, asking if we can go on a date. I went on a double date with her and her friend, just kind of break the tension. And it ended up going really well. And I liked her. And we ended up dating for 8 or 9 months. Don't look up the video. It's still up, but it shouldn't be. I don't know how to get rid of it.
I was
Been
gonna say 10
trying.
points to whoever can find the video. Put the link in the comments.
Do not put it in the comments. If you have the link, burn it. Don't ever watch it again. It is really embarrassing. Anyway, so that's how I met her, and then
Amazing.
things were going really well, but or they were going well. I shouldn't say really well, but there wasn't like a spark or anything.
Hmm.
I feel like we both dated just because we wanted to be in a relationship, and that's not why you
Sure.
should be in a relationship. You should be in a relationship because you care about the other person a lot. And I did care about her, but I think it was more for the fact of I was still thinking about my plan, and she lived in Ohio growing up, so she didn't really get to
Hmm.
meet a lot of people. So I think it was more of just it just made both of our lives easier to date.
Mm-hmm.
I think when I made that connection, um, it kind of made me think like, is this really what I want? Is this who I want to spend the rest of my life with? So I decided to end things there in 2019, and that was the last relationship I'd been in until where we are now. I had a couple, flings throughout there.
Hmm.
I've been on a lot of dates, but nothing really stuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like you've tried some other gambits,
Hmm.
like not to like label you, but you're kind of a gambity type guy for a while there. Like you were doing the video, and then I mean, I hope I'm not gonna make you embarrassed, but you also did like the PowerPoint. Do you remember the
Oh
PowerPoint?
gosh, the PowerPoint.
Sorry to make you embarrassed, but like
Oh no. Can the title of this video or this episode be like Zach's
embarrassing Zach's
embarrassing?
embarrassing life. Oh, that's so
Oh,
bad. That's
so
so mean.
sad.
No, I'm so sorry.
Um,
But yeah, so yeah, like you said, I mean, it didn't come together. But again, like very, very big and mature of you to
mhm.
be able to reflect on that and to make that shot, call that shot in the
Yeah, and
moment.
so ever since 2019, after a couple months, I got back in the game. So from 2019 basically to 2024, I was like Johnny was saying, just throwing everything at the wall, seeing what would stick.
Yeah.
I got every single dating app. I got Tinder, I got Bumble, I had Hinge. Um,
2023, you had retired too, hadn't you?
yeah, but
You took, oh, we're not there yet. My bad, my
we're
bad.
not there yet. We're not there. We'll get to that in a second. So I had every dating app. I was doing a research on all the apps. Like, should I download Plenty O Fish? Should I download Coffee
Oh,
Meets Bagel?
wow. I've never even heard of those.
Exactly. I was like fiending for a partner. So I was doing everything I possibly could. I almost made a J date, but I told myself I couldn't
Yeah.
bring myself to do that. If I did make a
I
J
even
date,
made a J date.
you made a J date before I did. Thanks for doing that, by the way, because that definitely helped. Again, like I have seen J date. I know the people that are on J date. There's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
many. There's like four,
Hmm.
and I knew that, and I still was thinking, but what if something's different now?
Yeah, what it might work for me.
It might work for yeah.
There's this funny quote from Arrested Development. There's this, Tobias is this psychologist, and so he said that he used to recommend to his patients that they try an open marriage. And then someone goes to him, well, does it really work? And he goes, or it's his wife that he's talking to, and he goes, no, it never works. These people delude themselves into thinking that'll work for them, but it just never does. And then
Mm.
a second later, he goes, but it might work for us. So it's just,
Oh.
I don't know. It's funny. I feel like,
That is
you know,
exactly how I felt like with these datings. Like
yeah.
I know it won't work, but it might work for me. So yeah, again, like I was making stupid content. I was making PowerPoints for girls, making like resumes. Um,
Oh,
I
was there a
remember,
resume?
There was a resume. I didn't release that to the public because again, that's really embarrassing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
no
know how
worries.
girls are like, oh, send me your resume. I
Oh,
did.
there was that like trend, right? There was a
Yeah.
resume trend. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm. So I did that, made some
Brother,
PowerPoints, made videos.
I'm pretty sure I did one of those as well. No doubt
Really?
about it. Yeah, like a Google form. I think I definitely filled out a Google form for kicks and gigs. I
Oh,
mean, it was the
awesome.
same thing. It was just like, I know it's not gonna work, but
But
if it does, generational wealth. It's like
Jenner,
putting a parlay down,
it is, yeah,
You
yeah. It's
cook
like,
up like a 15,000 plus 15,000 parlay and you're like, I know it's not going to, but
but
if it does, I'm going to London.
uh, so yeah, so after the dating apps, I had a lot of dates in those apps. Hinge really worked the best for me. I was the only one I really used
Hmm.
consistently because Tinder, I was thinking, I just had that mindset of going into Tinder like this is not where I'm gonna find a
Yeah,
girlfriend.
yeah.
And then Bumble, I just never got any callbacks on there. I got a couple, but
Interesting.
they weren't like crazy or anything. And
Yeah.
then and also back in the day in like the 2019 through 2022 era of Zach
Hmm.
being on dating apps, it was I was just swiping on like everybody. And from
Yeah.
2023 forward, I made the decision to go Jewish.
Okay. 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 I like that.
Um,
Is that where I feel like you haven't mentioned it yet. Maybe you were getting to it, but the Facebook group as well.
yeah, yeah. So I was going to go there too. So in 2020, and I think that's kind of where the idea of not the idea, but deciding that I did want to go Jewish with dating.
Hmm.
So in 2020, there was a Facebook group called it's like uh, Meet Jews, something like that on Facebook,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it has like 30,000 Jews from America. And every week you would sign up on like a Google form, and then every week you'd get like six Jews that are who also signed up and you have similar interests to them.
Yeah.
So you could message them on Instagram and see if anything were to stick during the pandemic because there was really nothing else to do. Mhm. So I think doing that definitely gave me an appreciation for finding a Jewish girl because before I was just thinking again in my like mindset back in like the 2017 Zach, he was thinking like doesn't matter who they are as long as they're nice to me and they're good looking. That's the girl that and with the want to have kids. That's who I'm gonna end up with.
Hmm.
So in a way, so yeah, that Facebook group definitely helped figure out what I want in a like religiously. I think that really
Yeah.
solidified that I wanted somebody to be Jewish as well, just because it would make be easier with um just like life going forward. I think having
Yeah.
similar values and stuff like that. And yeah, so it and then so tw that that whole saga ended. The dating apps ended, and then once I didn't find a girlfriend at like the end of 2022. I made a sweeping declaration that I was going to be retired dating girls. I was going to be single the rest of my life. That's all I needed to be. That's all I
Sweeping
needed.
declaration.
And obviously it didn't last very long. Well, it went through a lot of waves.
Yeah.
At the beginning of 2023, I was strict. Like end of 2022, beginning of 2023, no girlfriends for Zach. Didn't even try to attempt to talk to a girl. And
Big Planet
then
Fitness era.
yeah, big Planet Fitness era. I was going to the gym quite a bit. Um, but one day a birdhouse member had downloaded a dating app and then another one had downloaded a dating app and then that kind of sent the that made the ball start to roll of should I get
Yeah, yeah.
back on the dating apps. And I first I was like, no, I'm retired, you can't go back. If you go back it'll just lead to more disappointment, you can't go
Hmm.
back. And then I fell in the trap. I went back in it.
Yep.
I
Yep.
and the original rule we had for the dating apps at the birdhouse was you had to be on it for a month. If you don't find anything within a month,
We've skipped ahead just a little bit. Like okay. No, that makes sense. Sorry,
oh
I was trying
wait,
to figure it out. You're like, no,
oh
I don't
that
think
was this year.
that was this year.
That
Yeah.
was this year.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that was this year.
my fault. Yeah,
No
I
worries.
so yeah, I guess in the timeline we're in 2024.
But it makes sense, right? Because 2023, you were pretty solidly retired.
Yeah.
But then late 2023. You unretired yourself
I
first.
did. Yes.
You were the
Okay. So
first. You
right,
were the
right.
you were
Okay.
picking. Yeah.
I got my timelines mixed up. So yeah, so 2022 and 2023 I was retired. And then the end of 2023 I got lonely and then
As we
re-downloaded the
all do.
dating apps. And then I met some I was talking to this girl for like 5 or 6 months on it.
Hmm.
There was never she made it very clear that there was not going to be a relationship. And my again, back going back to it, I was
But
thinking,
maybe.
but maybe if she learns more about me, she'll really like me. And that didn't happen.
I mean, things were almost within reach though. Like it was the med school student. It was a
Hmm.
Jew. It
Yeah,
was,
2017 Zach would
it
be
was
like, this is
promising.
it. This
Yeah.
we got him. But no, there was she didn't want anything, and that's fine. I told myself that was fine, and then I figured out I wasn't fine with it. So
Yeah.
then we and then that eventually ended, and then after that I re-retired, and this time I thought it was gonna stick. And then now we've come to the um previous
Now we come
part.
to the
Now we've come
birdhouse.
to the
Yeah, the
birdhouse,
birdhouse
the
boys.
birdhouse boys were getting on the dating apps.
When would this have been? Would this have been end of Game of Thrones?
No, end of Game of Thrones.
Oh, we did end Game of Thrones in what, like June?
Yeah, no, we ended Game of Thrones in August.
Oh, oh, we did. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like a week
So
before you
this would have
left.
been, yeah, I remember that now. This would have been
I want to say May because
May.
the whenever the first soccer season was, because I remember you had been talking to a girl on the soccer team.
Yeah, yeah. Yep, yep, yep. It's all come together, right? And then Olivia played in our first game,
Yeah.
and yeah, okay.
So yeah, so then the birdhouse eventually all got the dating apps, and then
Yeah, so yeah, we had the rule.
the rule was we had to be on the app for 1 month, and then if you didn't find anything after the month, you would delete it. And then
And you were supposed to be generous too. Wasn't that part of it? Not generous, but you're supposed to shed your selfish
yeah, the
like
tendencies.
yeah, selfish tendencies the to, and kind of like you said, instead of like just fully loading, swiping right on everything or fully loading, swiping left on everyone, or just like not even really considering just like you know what I mean? Like just looking at the like first photo and making it snap judgment. I don't know if that was part of your guys' deal, but that was part of my deal because that was a trap that I had fallen into in the past.
I mean, every time I got on the dating app, I was thinking to myself, this time it'll be different. I'm gonna really pay attention to every profile. I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna. Yeah, if I'll know when I'll know.
yeah.
But yeah, and then so the rule was you delete it after a month after putting a lot of effort into it. Like
And
we all tried.
I think the other stipulation was like even if like I think it was even if you had success, you still were supposed to technically delete it. No?
Um, I Well, so I broke the rule because I had it for more than a month, but was talking to
Right.
a girl at the time. So I think the thing was I had to get the phone number and then delete it.
Yeah, that sounds
So
familiar.
that's probably what it was. And then you had deleted it.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to a girl who I got the phone number, and the first date went so well, and I thought I was like, I'm gonna delete it, no problem. This is the girl. And then lo and behold, that didn't happen either. So
I suppose I don't want to mislead the viewers into thinking
mhm.
that like we thought that 1 month was going to make everything work and we would be able to find, true love in that 1 month.
Mhm.
That wasn't the point of the month. The point of the month was I think we all recognized that we felt conflicted. There was part of us that like wanted to try it out again because of the hope and you always get that hope during summertime.
Yeah.
I swear there's like I know I love to quote Shakespeare, but I swear there's a Shakespeare quote about the fact that, oh, I have
Do you
no
want to
clue
find
where
it?
it is. I do, but I'm not going to because it's going to take me too long. but there's some literary quote where it's just like, oh man, it's along those same lines that it's like once spring rolls around, there's this wealth of, hope and joy. Man, I'll try to find it and put it in the comments, or maybe I'll
Yeah,
post it
yeah.
on the thing. But anyways, we were all caught up in the summer and in the springtime hope. But for me, at least, based on my previous experience, I also detested the app. So I was at, this conflicting point where it's just like, I know nothing's going to come of it, but I'm going to give myself a month to satiate the hope.
Hmm.
And if something happens, great. If nothing happens, that's fine too. But you're done after a month. So I wasn't. So I don't want to. I just wanted to clarify that for the listeners that it wasn't about like we foolhardily thought that 1 month was going to solve everything. It was a way to taste the pie, I suppose.
Very, very well said. Yeah. Um,
But
so
Zach
yeah,
broke the rules.
I broke the rule. So the point was you delete your account. I deleted
Yeah.
the app off my phone
Yep.
because a small part of me was hoping
You little minx.
it'll work out. I know, I know. Hand up, that was my fault. I shouldn't have done that.
Well,
But well, actually, I should have done that. Yeah, I take back what I just said there. I'm glad I didn't do that. I'm glad I didn't delete the app or delete my account.
mhm.
But yeah, so I deleted my I deleted the app off my phone and I was just thinking I was like, you know what? I'm back to being retired. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
I gotta stay retired. The apps aren't
Man,
it.
man talked some big words. He
Hmm.
was he was all about retirement.
I love me some retirement. But yeah, I don't know what happened, but one day I re-downloaded the app, put it back on my home screen and continued going. And a few
And
months
we
went
caught
by.
him. We caught the
You
sneaky guy.
you did.
We were in the car ride and someone like with the name like Emily, I don't even know if it was Ellie, but like we'll just say Emily Hinge popped up and we were like, what's that all about? What do you do? What's that?
I got caught red-handed. That wasn't great. That wasn't my best moment.
That was funny.
But I don't know. I was still hoping out, still wishing for something was gonna happen.
Hmm.
And lo and behold,
Lo and behold.
we ended up seeing this girl on Hinge. And I gave her the like. We started talking, and then we figured out we found a time to meet.
Hmm.
Here's the confusing part. So the thing is, she lives in Lansing, and
Hmm.
I don't. There's no way I put my settings all the way to Lansing.
Oh, so you think it's destiny?
I don't know if it's destiny, but maybe she was in because I had it set for Ann Arbor one time. She's a big Ann
Yeah.
Arbor, like University of Michigan fan. Maybe she was in Ann Arbor, had it
Mm.
set to Ann Arbor, and then that's how I saw her
Hmm.
that way.
Also, go blue. Shout out Allie. Go blue.
Okay.
This is
Um,
actually kind of cool. Like the birdhouse girls are both Michigan gals.
yeah, that's really cool.
How about that?
That's so cool.
Tough year for their boys.
Tough. Yeah.
Boys in blue.
Oh my gosh. I can't stand you, Johnny. Your whole fire everybody. Dude, what are you like 3-3?
4
4-2?
and 3.
4-3? Okay. John,
We look so bad.
hey, Jim Harbaugh, you expect a championship every year, and that drives me insane. Just be happy with a winning season. Michigan State is like
We're not
four.
guaranteed a winning season at all.
If you don't have a winning season, then yeah, be upset about it. But Jim Harbaugh sucked his first 5 years. Everyone's
No,
like
he
fire.
didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No, he was 10 wins from 18-19. I think 2016 he was 10 wins. 2017 was a rough year. 18-19 were both 10-win seasons, maybe 11 wins. 2015 was I think a 9-win season. But we lost a tough one against Utah and then obviously should have beat Michigan State. So it should have been a 10-win season.
Okay, so maybe suck wasn't the right word, but I feel like people back then
2021
was
was a bad year
well that was you guys played like 7 games. That doesn't that this
No, we
season
played
was
like two.
oh was it two?
No, not two. Maybe it was seven. It was a small amount of games though.
I know Michigan State played 7 games. We were like 2-5, but one of those wins was against Michigan. So
Yeah, yeah.
that game counts. Rest of the season doesn't count.
So my text really made you mad then, eh?
About
What about it?
you're complaining, dude. It's 1 year. Everyone on the team is not there anymore. The same staff isn't there. Give them some time.
Well, so but you also need to understand that it's just crazy sports fan. Like it's crazy sports fan in the moment. We look terrible against Illinois, a team that we haven't lost to since 2009.
Illinois is ranked.
Of course I'm going to want them fired. I mean, like Michigan looked bad. Did you watch the game?
No, I watched like half of the third quarter.
Okay. I don't think we should fire everyone. I think the OC should be on the hot seat, should very much be on the hot seat. But I think Sharon and everyone else is going to be okay. But but I mean, there's I feel like there's a fair argument out there right now. Why is Michigan suffering through this quarterback problem? It's University of Michigan. It's a huge brand name that just won the national title. Why the hell do our quarterbacks suck so much? They can't go out in the transfer portal and find someone.
Yeah.
We can't scrounge up the funds out of, our supposed massive alumni base. I mean, Stephen M. Ross could fund the team alone,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not the only guy. So it's crazy that they come into the season totally unprepared at quarterback. My dad had an interesting point. He felt that was Harbaugh's fault. He thought that it was a little bit Harbaugh's fault for leaving the team without a backup quarterback, which is kind of fair. Like last year, I didn't even think about it last year, but last year if McCarthy goes down, who is backup? So
Yeah, probably Orgy.
anyways, I mean,
I just think you got to give it time. Jacob told me this stat where it was like no Michigan quarterbacks thrown more than like 26 touchdowns in a season, which
mhm.
is it's something like that, which I agree is crazy. But you guys still have had a lot of success with not having a generational quarterback.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just frustrating that well, okay.
Just give it time, man. Dan Campbell was on the
Yeah,
hot seat after having like the worst roster in the NFL for a year, and then when they went 1-6, people were claiming for Dan Campbell's to be fired immediately. I didn't want
I,
that. Give him
I
some
feel like
time.
you definitely took my fire everyone
I
too
did.
early,
I
like
did. I did.
because I don't actually mean it. I really don't like Kirk Campbell. I would if they were to fire someone, I would think it should be Kirk Campbell, the
Hmm.
offensive coordinator. I mean, again, maybe like you said, it's just to give it time, but he's doing, in my opinion, a terrible job. Um, but no doubt, like not everyone can be Bama. That's the reality of it. But you would think that Michigan could do better than this. Yes, they lost a lot of personnel, but this defense was supposed to be an elite unit, and they are. They just get no help from the offense. So, and our head coach was the former offensive coordinator. So what the hell happened? Why is there this giant drop off? So the fire everyone was, you know, I mean, it was in jest. Like I obviously didn't mean fire everyone. You know, it's yes, I agree. It's going to be fine, but it's definitely frustrating that Michigan, you know, struggles with these problems, especially when your biggest rival, OSU, across the street, is able to come back year in, year out, reloaded with no problem across coaches.
Hmm.
You know, it's just like why are they able to do it, and why is it such a struggle for Michigan? Like it took 15 years. No, it took almost 30 years for Michigan to get back to, or okay, so yeah, it took, let's say, we'll call it 23. It took, or no, we'll call it 17, because 2005, 15, how about 15? Because 2005, they were a championship level team, right? They played the game of the century against Ohio State.
Hmm.
So it's again, I mean, it's fine. It's just frustrating to or it's the panic is setting in because we were good. I mean, yeah, everyone was calling for Jim Harbaugh's head because he wasn't, doing what he was brought in to do, but we were fine. We were still a good football team. But now it's back to being like, oh wow, we're a bad team again. Like it's back to the 2009, 2010, 2013 years. I mean, you remember those years. Those years
Hmm.
sucked. It sucked being a Michigan fan.
Wasn't great, no, but
So
okay. So maybe I apologize for coming for your head there.
no, it's okay.
Um,
You're a passionate Michigan State fan, so you can it's good. It's just good banter.
and like I was talking with Nolan about this too. Nolan's like, well, we should fire our head coach. I'm like, dude, you guys are 10-2 every year.
Penn State,
Yeah.
it's not that crazy though. I mean, this year things might be different, but I understand where he's coming from because it was the same thing that I was thinking about. Like, I didn't ever really want Jim Harbaugh to be fired, but I was gonna be understanding. Like the same way that Connor and his trade. I didn't think it was a good trade, but I understand. And I didn't want Harbaugh to be fired because I knew he was on the right track. 2020 sucked because it was a stupid COVID year. But he
Hmm.
was, I mean, and when he fired Don Brown, I think that was the right move. Um, but anyways, I understand what Nolan's talking about because James Franklin, is supposed to be this elite head coach. And every year in, year out, we're talking about how he can't win the big one, how he can't be anything that's significant. So how much longer do you let him limp along? It
I don't,
is, sorry, go for it.
no, yeah, no, go ahead.
I was just going to say that I suppose my last point is it is interesting the way that head coaches are used now, because I feel like in the 70s, 80s, 90s, James Franklin, like you said, with the success that he's having, he'd be guaranteed, a 30-year coach. Like he'd be in that program forever. But
Hmm.
this year, but in this day and age, everyone wants a championship. And I know that's like that should be obvious, but I suppose it's just because it's different. The championship seems so much more, maybe it feels more out of reach. I really don't know, right? Because we didn't grow up in the 80s and 90s, but the
Hmm.
championship feels much more out of reach um, these days, I suppose, because I don't know, I guess because of the playoff. But anyways, that's my long answer. And I know I said I was going to do Johnny Takeover, but then we started talking about Michigan football. So
No, I wanted to hear it, man. That's why I asked it.
yeah. So
Um,
anyways, I feel like I cut you off when you were talking about Nolan, but
no, I was it. But also Michigan State, Mark D'Antonio. He was head coach for I don't know how long he was there for, but I've seen seasons where we were 3-9, and the next year we were like going to the playoffs.
um, yeah,
It's
but
not
it's again, no, I agree. Go for it.
it's not fair to just cut him off after one season after when you're rebuilding the team. That that's all I want to say.
No, you're right. You're right. It's definitely crazy lunatic to expect, again, to expect to be Bama, especially after a coaching change. It's crazy. Um, and I don't think, Sherrone Moore should be fired. I think he should have a long-term contract because it takes time to build these things. So, um, but again, like it's the comparison to OSU that, you know, even though we hate OSU and everything, you also kind of tend to compare yourself to
Hmm.
them because they are your biggest rival and that
Right.
is the biggest game of the year. And so right now it's very clear and obvious that we're going to walk into or Michigan's going to walk down to Columbus and absolutely get throttled. And it's not fun looking forward to that, especially after 20 years,
Hmm.
20 straight years. I mean, yes, we got 3 great years these past 3 years, but it would be nice to avoid going back to that for one more year. So it's just the writing on the wall. Everyone sees the writing on the wall with what's going to happen, late November, and so uh, it's scary. No one wants to deal with it, so we're all trying to cope with it by saying crazy things. So there's my
Okay.
answer.
Gotcha.
Anyways, Birdhouse
Yeah.
Girls, Michigan fans. Met this girl, Ali.
Yeah.
She was in East Lansing. Big tangent, big subject.
So yeah, so my thing was my mindset was this girl lives in Lansing. I'm still kind of retired. I'm pseudo retired. I'm gonna go into
Yeah.
this not
You
expecting
weren't
much.
pseudo retired. No
I was
shot.
pseudo retired. No, but
Oh my gosh.
my
Come
mindset
over.
going into this was, we'll just go. It'll be a fun time. It's always fun
Yeah.
meeting new people, even if it doesn't work out. It'll still be nice going to Lansing, seeing some of the people there
Hmm.
again, and had the first date and couldn't believe it. I was having a great time.
Awesome.
So yeah, I was having a really good time and walked her back to her apartment. We set our separate ways, and then I was walking back to my car. I was thinking, that went really well. I wonder. I don't want to get my hopes up, because I've got my
Yeah.
hopes up before and been disappointed. So,
Yeah.
but I might get my hopes up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of don't get your hopes up, Zach, but that went really well, and I hope things work out. But don't get your hopes up.
Don't get your hopes.
And then we had more dates pretty much every weekend. Either she would come here or I would go to Lansing. We pretty much flip flop.
Hmm.
And yeah, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I asked her like, "Hey, I'm not seeing anyone else. I really want to focus on this relationship." And she said, "Me too." And that
Awesome.
kind of sparked the question of when do I ask her to officially,
Yeah.
be boyfriend girlfriend. So I was thinking about this, like since I asked her that question, and I had a very good idea. And again, if you're a friend of the pod, I'm sure I've told you, but the plan was we're having a party at the birdhouse. And what I was going to say was when I introduce you to people at the party, can I call you my girlfriend? That's pretty much the line I was rehearsing over and over, trying to figure out ways how to make it sound cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Um, and so this past weekend, I went up to Lansing to see her. I was going to go to the Michigan State game too.
Mhm.
And we ended up getting lunch, walking around campus, doing a little tailgating, and then we see this little area of grass, and we go sit down in there, start talking there, and I'm thinking to myself, this is a great place, a great time to do it. I should do it now because my plan was to do it
Yeah.
at night,
Okay.
and I ended up sending it. I said basically what I said, where it was like, "Hey, when I introduce people, it's cool if I call you my girlfriend," and she was like, "Yeah, I would love that." It's like that
Nice.
is so sick.
That is
That's
electric.
That's the thing though. Like I was practicing so much of what I was gonna say to her in the moment. I didn't practice what I was gonna say after.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So when she said, "Yeah, I'd love that," I was like, that's so great. That's so cool." And I
No, I
just
think that's just
and she was
fine.
just like staring at me, and I was like, "This is so great." So I was just like, she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know.
You
I'm
didn't.
just, I'm freaking out right now. I didn't
Did
I
you?
didn't rehearse my lines."
You didn't go in for the kiss or anything like that.
Well, yeah, but
Oh, okay.
that was like after I was like internally freaking out.
Yeah. So I suppose what made it did anything in the build-up feel different? Because like we've talked about, you've been kind of, as we all have, been gambity in the past. You tried the gambits,
Hmm.
and then you tried dating folks that, you know, weren't interested in dating, all this stuff. And I don't know, was there a different feel? Like you kind of said it because you said I was just going to go into this hoping for a fun time.
Hmm. And I
Is that the best the way that and like maybe that's good enough, but is there anything you want to elaborate on that with, or
That is a
I
great
don't know.
question. Yeah, honestly, I think it was obviously I don't, I going looking back on all the dates I've been on. Had I said to myself, just go and have a good time, don't put a lot of pressure on it, I'm sure the outcomes would have been the same.
Hmm.
But no, she was very welcoming, and it felt good like right away. Like again, like my
Yeah.
whole mindset of the trip was I just go. You're still retired, so don't expect much out of it.
Hmm.
And she just made me want to come out of retirement.
Okay.
Like it felt that good from the beginning. And
Yeah.
that's what was making me nervous because I was like, oh, here we go. I'm going to get my hopes up again, and this isn't going to go anywhere. And um, yeah, just I'm doing exactly what Zach does, or I'm gonna spiral, overthink it, and then it's not going to end up
Yeah.
happening, and then I'll be sad. But yeah, it was weird from the I don't know exactly the feeling. It did feel different, but I can't tell you exactly why. Because again, a lot of dates I've been on, I thought, oh, this is going really well. I think this will
Hmm.
probably happen, and all those times it didn't happen, and this time it did.
Hmm.
So maybe it was because of the mindset I had. Maybe it was just because I finally found um the right person. I don't know,
Yeah. Okay.
but
Yeah. No, that's acceptable answer too. Because I just feel like when I'm hearing you talk about it, it reminds me of shout out our friend Sabrina.
mhm,
When she mentioned something like they almost in a way that you have to I don't know how she said it, so I'm not going to do it justice. But she said something along the lines of sometimes you just have to basically like you said it, you just have to go in expecting to meet someone new and meet a friend and
mhm,
to not like have this preconceived or force it in your mind to make it like a like force the image of a future relationship. You just have to.
yeah, and like
And
that,
I don't know. Does that sound? I feel like that's what how it almost went for you. Would you say it's true, or am I just trying to
yeah, no, it's true, and
force that image
because
upon you?
no, it's true to an extent. Because if you know me, you know I overthink, like, especially when it comes to relationships, I overthink a lot,
Hmm.
and from this is probably the first time where one of the I'll, um I would say it's one probably the first time where I was just going into it thinking this is going to happen. It'll be fun, it'll be great, but don't
Yeah,
expect much.
yeah,
And again, I don't think that is the reason why it ended up differently. I just think she is just great, and I'm so
yeah.
glad that I ended up matching with her.
Awesome.
But it does make you think, is the mindset, is that partially why nothing worked out in the past? And I don't think so. Again, I just some people just don't click,
Yeah.
and that's fine. But I do think it helped me. If it didn't work out, it would have helped me a lot more. Being like, you know what, you're growing. You'll learn
Hmm.
not to take it too far in your mind. That's a good learning experience.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like a real Bildungsroman, like a real coming of age story there, because the whole arc is fantastic. You're
Hmm.
this, young bred-ed kid thinking that he's going to conquer the world in 50 days, and you kind of you got beat down a little bit. You got put in your place. You got some dirt thrown on you. You got some cuts and some bruises, and battle scars,
Hmm.
and then as you know eventually as you stuck with it, I suppose there were moments of doubt and despair, but you stuck with it and it came together. So yeah, no, I mean
Yeah.
it's like you could write a Hollywood script on your story, I think.
Yeah. I know the moment I thought this could be something was on our second date. Um, I asked her a question like, "What's been your rose and thorn of like 2024?"
Hmm.
And it ended up like she asked a question back to me, and I said something along the lines of like learning who I am as a person, trying to be a better
Oh,
person. And my hair transplant came up,
yeah,
and I was expecting it to be over after that. Because I'm just really self-conscious about it.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
no, she was very I don't use the term nice, but she was I guess thoughtful on how to approach it and made me
Yeah.
feel very good about the decision I made for the transplant, and like it's not that big of a deal because it is a very
Yeah.
big deal to me.
Hmm.
So I'm very happy the way she kind of made me
She
feel
helped
more at
ease your
ease.
burden a little bit,
Yes,
maybe.
exactly, exactly.
Nice. All right, yeah, that's a great start to be helping. So
Yeah.
that's a How I Met Your Mother episode, right? The people in their luggage, and
Yeah, yeah, the
like it
baggage.
finishes with Ted saying like, "Oh, let me help you with your baggage" or something like
Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh,
that.
so cute.
Well,
Um,
awesome, awesome.
yeah.
I mean, what other? I don't know. Do you have any other high flying emotions that are you want to get off your chest, or I don't know. We've gone over it pretty well. I think I don't want to force
Yeah. No, I
anything
definitely
else, but I know we've got a
I feel like I
couple other
was
small topics you wanted to get to. So
true, true. Um, last thing I guess on that. Um, I was really excited when it happened,
Yeah,
and we were gonna go see the like some of the tuba players and the marching band before the
yeah.
game, just like talk to them, see how they're going. And, like I was introducing to her to everybody. I was like, guys, this is my girlfriend Allie. As of like
Nice.
20 minutes ago, just asked her. It went well. It went great. And she's like, Zach, stop telling everybody that we did it like 20 minutes ago. I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know, no, everyone's got to know.
No, no. That's funny. That's
So
great.
that was pretty funny. Everyone seemed to get a kick out of that. She also got a kick out of that too.
Yeah. Awesome
But yeah,
sauce.
no, if you're a fan of the pod, I don't know when we'll see you next, but I would love for you all to meet her. She's awesome. She doesn't get nervous, by the way. That's crazy. How do you
What
not
does
get
that mean?
nervous? Like she's just doesn't get nervous in any situation. Doesn't get like uncomfortable really.
Oh wow.
I I know it's I'm like how?
How is that possible?
She's like if you told me to give a speech right now in front of 100,000 people about something I don't know, I'd be fine. I'm like thinking I'm what? How? How do you do that? How do you not have? How are you not instinctively just nervous about things?
Maybe does she like rock climbing?
I don't think so.
Oh. Well, because there's who's the
No, tell
famous
me,
rock climber?
I
Do you
don't
know?
know.
You don't know this? All right, one
No.
second, one second.
What does rock climbing have to do with nervousness?
Alex Honnold, do you know that name?
No.
Okay, he's this famous rock climber who does all this free solo stuff and like really crazy um yeah, I don't know, stunts and climbs and all this stuff. And they did a study on him or something like that. Or maybe not him, but they did a study on these rock climbers in general, and they found that their brain wiring is not like off. It's just different than everyone else's, and it actually does not, respond to it doesn't create these nervous signals. I don't know. That's not the right way to say it, but do you kind of get what I'm
I I'm I'm
saying here?
I'm just in shock that that's
Like their
people.
brain is just wired differently, and they don't get nervous because they don't
How?
have the capability to. Like their biological capability to get nervous is shot, and so they're able
That
to execute
is
at high
so
levels.
insane to me. That doesn't
Yeah,
even make sense.
I know.
Wow. I
So
gotta start rock climbing.
okay, well, it doesn't. No, no, no. That's not how it
Oh
works.
no, it's not
They're
how it
like,
works.
I think
No.
they were
They're
born with
born
it.
with it and they just happen to
Yeah,
rock climb because it's dangerous and they don't get scared by it.
or something like that. Yeah.
Man, I wish I was a different man.
No, don't say that. You are an amazing man,
Oh,
the man that you
wow.
are,
Wow. Here
the
I go.
man that you are. All righty, well, we got a few
Yeah,
more minutes left, so
that's everything I want to go over
uh,
that. Just shout out Allie and
yeah,
then
shout out Zach.
can't wait
Thank
for
you.
everyone
Shout
to
out
meet her.
Allie. Thank you for Zachy takeovers today.
Yeah, so Johnny, I guess do you have anything you want to go and do you want to address anything?
No, I'm
Do you
just
have any
really happy
questions?
for my guy.
Thanks, man.
The Birdhouse boys are really thriving right now. It's
Hmm.
fantastic to see. Um, the summer of the Birdhouse. Wow. Yeah,
What was that? What
yeah.
was that tweet Ned said? It was like May 31st, 2024, the
First,
day
everything changes.
the day that the boys are officially back or something like that.
Little did we know how true that was going to be,
Hmm.
for good or bad.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, crazy summer for the fellows. So I guess yeah, no, I guess my only advice would be as someone who's made the grade. What's your advice? My only question would be someone who's made the grade. What's your advice for all the single fellows out there that were like you
Um,
at one point? If you could go back
I
to
can go back.
22.
Oh man.
What are you
Um,
telling yourself in 2022?
it's I don't know. It's cliche, but be be yourself on dates. Don't try and well, obviously you can act a little cool, but
Yeah,
be who you are. Don't try and change your lifestyle to fit in their life. Because
nice,
if they like you, the way you act and the way you are will be enough.
nice.
So, and don't don't retire. That's
Don't
another advice.
retire.
Don't
Oh
retire.
man, I'm retired.
It's out there. I know you're retired, and I believe me. I as a former retired man, I know. I know. It's so easy to retire. it's okay to give yourself some months off, but you can't retire forever. Don't let
Yeah.
yourself don't tell yourself you're retiring forever.
All right. All right. Fantastic.
All right. But yeah, so I have a couple things I wanted to go over. Just want to talk about the two things we talked about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Let's do that.
so first up is the Liam Payne from One Direction passing away.
Yes. Yep. Really.
Um,
That's crazy. I mean, it's devastating.
mhm. And I kind of had a morbid thought on the situation. Obviously, very
Yeah.
sad he died, but it got me thinking like, do you think the four remaining One Direction singers, do you think they text like because they obviously have a group chat with all five of them together? If
Obviously.
obviously, what does that mean? You don't think they do?
I don't know. I mean, the band broke up.
Yeah, but there's no way they didn't have a group chat. Even if they didn't use it all the time, they definitely had a group chat at one point with all five of them in there.
Sure. Sure. All right. All right. All right. Continue on.
So like, do you think they texted in that group chat? Do you think the four of them texted in a separate group chat? Do you think they already had a group chat before? Because Liam, I heard, wasn't really the nicest guy ever.
Oh, wow.
But and coming from that, that made me think if, God forbid, a million times, if I were to die and you like when you Brian, Ned, when you David, when you guys all text each other, would you guys use a group chat without me?
Oh, you mean the group chat that we have without you?
Oh,
Yeah,
is there one? Is
probably.
there already one without me?
No, no, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. No, that's it's definitely yeah, definitely God forbid that anything should happen to you.
But it's gonna be like what
I
would we
don't
do?
I don't even know. I mean,
Because obviously
what
you have to.
out from the outside looking in, it'd be kind of funny if I just like texted you one and one was like, come on. That's it's not real, right?
Oh, oh, that's
Um
sad.
oh, as I said, that's more sad than I meant it to be. I think I don't know. I guess my instinct, and I don't know what makes me say this, but my instinct says I hope that they would have called each other. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean? I
yeah.
hope
Instead of
that they
texting.
like, yeah, that the first person to find out would have, called one of the other mates
Hmm.
and, yeah, because I feel like a text is really cold and impersonal. Like we
Yeah.
can text about Liam Payne's death because we don't know him, you
Hmm.
know, um, but I would definitely hope for a call. And I suppose that goes for all my friends. God forbid anything should happen to anyone. But it would be, I don't know, it'd be weird to get the text over the call.
Yeah.
So I would hope that they would have called and spoken in person because yeah, because it's I don't know, it's more meaningful. But again, I
Hmm.
don't know their dynamic. Yes, they were bandmates, but I think we've learned from, history of band that doesn't make everyone necessarily friends in the band.
Right. Yeah.
So um so I know I from what I read, he was in Argentina there
Hmm.
for a concert for Nile, right? Did I hear that right?
I know
For
he
the
was at Niall's concert. I don't know he
if that was in
if
Argentina.
that was like two separate occasions.
Oh, okay. All right. Then I definitely could have gotten some bad information. But anyways,
No, no, no. I
did that
also
did that,
I
that
don't know.
answer your question or
Yeah. You're right. And but like, so because
so
of
everything how about everything after the fact? We'd probably text in a separate group chat.
hmm.
If like,
But
oh,
like
when you
to
go
hear
in
the
the
news.
funeral, when you doing this, that.
Because I'm assuming one of them definitely heard from the media, and that made me think like, how do they
Yeah.
tell everyone else? What do you think they told their friends? Do you think they waited for the media to tell everybody, or if the media to spread it out, and then like let's just say Niall heard it first.
Oh,
Do you think Niall called Harry and all the other guys, or do you think he saw it
again,
and assumed everybody else had heard it already?
no, I think I'd hope and think that they would call and, you know, I don't know, but that is a good question. Like, who's got the right to say it, to
Hmm.
tell? Is that
Yeah,
kind of what you're saying?
that's pretty much what I'm trying to get at here.
Okay, okay. So who's got the right? I don't know. Maybe you can call, and if you are the bearer of bad news, but you don't know more information, you can say, I'll let, Mrs. Payne I'll let her know that I told you, but I'll let her tell you the full details or something like that.
Hmm.
I don't know. This is getting me sad just thinking about it.
Sorry.
Because
Me,
like you said, like God forbid anything happened to me. I'm like, well, yeah, it's making me think. So, anyways,
hmm. Well, I'm sorry. We can change subject to something else.
yeah,
We talk about our
that's okay.
fantasy football matchup.
Oh, great.
Mo
Now that really matters now. I
I probably should have started with
I
that
just
one.
want you to be in good health, Zach. That's all.
I want you to be in good health too, Johnny.
Thank you.
Um, we had to kind of wrap up the last one.
How do we move on from that downer of a
I know. I shouldn't have brought that up. It made me think
All right,
about
let's
it.
say let's have some happy thoughts. Let's say
Yeah, yeah.
some happy things. Um, Cardinals. I love looking at Cardinals, and I think they've got a cute little chirp, and they do their chirp,
Okay,
chirp,
okay.
chirp.
Does the fact that you like looking at Cardinals make you appreciate like the St. Louis Cardinals or the Arizona Cardinals more, or no?
Nope,
No?
nope.
Okay.
I just like them in our backyard. Got a good chirp. I like mourning doves. Those are fun. Those are nice. I like pumpkins. Pumpkins are the best.
What were you thinking about getting another pumpkin for the Halloween party to for people to sign?
Oh, good, good. Yeah, you should. And keep it somewhere out of, I guess, out of the sun this time. It's
Well,
crazy that it lasted that long. Like,
I know.
what caused the failure?
I have no idea. For those who don't know, there was a pumpkin living in our house for months.
It's just a funny way to say it. We had a pumpkin living in our house. Yeah, it was just hanging out. Mark was
He
his
wasn't
name.
paying
Yeah,
rent, wasn't doing any of
wasn't
that.
paying rent. It was total
Just
ass.
hanging out. But no, he lived for 8 months.
Yeah,
It was crazy. We just kept him on the uh I can't what's it, the
bay window. Is that
bay
what you call
window.
it?
Yeah, bay window. Yeah, I was couldn't think of that word. Bay window, and he just hung out there for 8 months. Didn't get gross until it started getting warm out.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It was maybe that's the closest equivalent that we have. I mean, Ned didn't call us, but he texted us to let us know that Marcus had passed into new life.
hmm.
That was sad. So I guess Ned, if you're listening, I would have appreciated a call.
Oh, um,
All right, let's move on. Next topic.
yeah.
Or that was the topic?
Well, the topic I want to was fantasy football.
Oh yeah,
So
fantasy
Johnny
football.
and I both
Okay,
had
yeah.
terrible weeks this week in fantasy. Um,
Oh yeah, like it's the toilet bowl.
yeah, like
I mean, you can still turn it around. Like if you have, you
you could
know,
too.
if you have a decent performance from Lamar Jackson, which I'm going to say 20 points, it's called 20 points, and then you have a really good performance from Mike Evans, it's called 20 points, then you're going to
Chris,
finish at like 100 points, which is in the end a pretty good score.
yeah.
Like, yes, you look bad right now, but also if all of your players had played, you know, the 1 or 4 p.m. slot,
Hmm.
your team might be looking a lot better. And
Right.
I'd be liable for a 36 point. Like I'd be begging for a crazy J.K. Dobbins score.
Hmm.
But the only thing, I mean, that's the only reason why it looks like you've had a bad week. I really don't think you technically have had it a bad week yet. Is that fair to say?
That's totally fair to say. Yeah, again, just looking at it right now, it doesn't look good for both of us. But obviously, we still have another game tonight, and that'll
Yeah.
be big.
Two big
So
games. I mean, two different ones, right? I'm playing the Chargers and you're playing or I've got the Chargers player and you've got the Tampa Bay
yeah.
and Baltimore game.
Yeah, true, true, true. So I guess ESPN's giving your win probability at a 27%.
Yeah. I've seen
What?
way worse than that,
I
which
know,
is
I know.
crazy.
So I was gonna say, do you think that's a fair percentage of or a fair chance, a fair percent chance that you have left? Do you think it's
Um,
accurate?
I'd put it lower. I mean, there have been some games again, like where we've seen a 99% chance and
Hmm.
that's been overcome. So I feel like they're really throwing me a bone here. But I also, you know, I've got a couple fantasy footballisms, and one of them is you've never lost the game until you've lost the game. And I'm not saying that necessarily applies here, but wouldn't you say in the past like that's your
Yeah.
experience too? Like you haven't lost the game until you've lost it. And I suppose a branching fantasyism that comes out from that is you always want to be in the lead in fantasy football because crazy, crazy things can happen. And again,
Hmm.
terrible subject to bring up, but the Damar Hamlin injury, like you could have, I, I, I I suppose I don't know how I pivoted into that without having a plan afterwards, but I suppose my idea is like, oh, I guess that's my idea is like, God forbid tonight, uh, Lamar Jackson, Mike Evans, or like something happens in that game. Like I will still win this fantasy game if that game gets canceled.
Hmm.
And so no matter what percent, like no matter how bad it looks right now, I am technically in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
Like yes, it's a terrible drive. Like I'm going 90 in the Savannah Bush or something like that. I don't know, but but I am I like my spot better than I like yours because
Hmm.
although it's probably going to be a race in the first 10 minutes of the football game, I do have the lead.
Hmm.
And until you've given up that lead, you're that's where you want to be. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, that applies for all sports. Like, but I mean, obviously they were famous, 2-0 lead in soccer is like the worst lead you could ever have. Same with like hockey. I think they say the same, like 2-0 lead in hockey is it's the worst. You know, you never want that.
Hmm.
And so I suppose in the end, my answer to your question is yes. I think 27% is fair just because of what I've seen, what we've seen in fantasy in
Yeah.
the past is, I mean, it's definitely tilting, like the scales are very much tilted towards you, but also, you know,
You're up
crazy
by
things
9.
have happened. Crazy, crazy
Did I
things
ever
have
tell you my
happened.
my Eric Decker story?
No.
Oh my gosh. It was Sunday night. I was facing Uncle Todd. This was in 2015, 2014,
Okay.
2016, around that era.
Yeah.
I was down by like 24 points and I had Eric Decker left. It was like a
Yeah.
Sunday night. Eric Decker puts up like 41 points,
Oh my
something
God.
insane like that. And Uncle Todd still had another player too. I can't
Yeah.
remember who his other player was, but I ended up winning because of that performance. Like it's not over until the game hits 0-0-0.
Yeah.
So
And
I like
again,
what you
like,
said there.
yeah. Sorry, go for it.
I was gonna say, I really like what you said there. Um, there's no point in drowning in sorrow until you either you lose the lead or the game's over and you've
Yeah.
lost.
Yeah.
At this point, it's totally makes sense. You are winning right now. There's no
Hmm.
reason for you to think. There's no reason to put yourself in the mindset that even though you might lose, there's always a chance.
Right. Even yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, we could see, and that's why there's a trophy. That's why we have this trophy named after Mark Andrews,
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
even the most unlikely hero
Uh-huh.
can come on a Monday night and change everything. And so, we've seen it countless times where like, yeah, I've got a chance, but really, am I gonna win? No. And then, 11:30 on a Monday night, you're like, your heart's pounding. You're like,
Hmm.
let's go, and you just can't believe it. So, I guess all in all, but I will say, I am still panicking, not in this game per se, but on the whole, the season
Hmm.
as a whole. I just do not like where my team is at. Like I was telling Ned earlier in the season, oh, your boys are just out of sync. I feel like I am just so out of sync with my boys. I don't know who to start when and what position to start him in. Like I was really, really struggling with the James Cook, Kareem Hunt decision. But I was like,
Hmm.
James Cook, I drafted him for a reason. I have to start him. But now from here on out, I think he's right in Pine until he can prove that he's going to be better than Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt's been unbelievable.
Hmm.
So
Well, Nick Chubb is also back. So is Kareem Hunt still on the
no,
Browns?
Kareem Hunt's on KC.
Oh, he's on KC now?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
okay.
back to KC. That's why he's been doing so well. So,
Gotcha. Okay.
um, but my wide receivers, obviously I took a big hit with Nico Collins going out.
Hmm.
Like maybe things are different if Nico Collins is in. Maybe
Hmm.
I handle this game better because I don't know. But anyways, I hope that answered your question. I was gonna go on a tangent, but I forget what my tangent was going to be. I suppose
Oh.
it's playing out the same way in the Jennings Family League right now.
Hmm.
Like Lily, I texted Lily and I will sometimes text when we're playing each other that week.
Hmm.
And so, I started the conversation this year. I said good luck. And then, she reached out last night and was like, well, it's looking like it's over for me. And
Hmm.
I was just like, I understand why you're saying that, but also don't count yourself out. Like you haven't lost until the whistle's gone. Yes, I'm in the better position because I'm winning, but it is definitely, it is not over. And I
Yeah.
suppose the last example that I want to bring up, and sorry for cutting off again, but I will never
Here.
forget it. To make I think it was to make the playoff or to make the championship game in 2021 or 2020, Jennings League official. It's the same ordeal. Like the Miami Dolphins defense needed to go off. And it's a lot. I feel like the odds for a defense going off are a lot lower than
Lot.
for like
Yeah.
a wide receiver or running back.
Uh-huh.
And somehow, some way, they made my dreams come true. And it was me and Sabrina. We were hanging out. We were waiting for Zachy to come along, and I'm kind of flipping back and forth between the game, and I'm like, hold on a minute, Miami's defense is playing pretty well here. So what's going on? And I think they got a couple sacks, and it was against a bad team. So again, there's like a chance and there's hope. But then they make it happen. Where I like flip back and we're watching the game, and I don't know when it is, but it's late enough in the game where it's like this is going to solidify the lead. And
Hmm.
they get like a 60-yard pick six, and that was enough to put me over the edge. And my deep like of all the unlikely heroes, my defense scored, I think it was like 27 points to
Hmm.
put me through against Uncle Todd. Dude, Uncle Todd's been on the receiving end of
I
so
know.
many harsh games. And it was also against Uncle Todd, but those games are the games. Those games are the reason we play fantasy football.
So to kind of wrap it up, moral of the podcast, it's never over till it's over. Enjoy what you're doing right now. Live in
Yeah.
the moment, and
Yes.
good life.
Wow. Yeah.
Life is good.
That's a great summary. That is exactly how it's summarized.
All right. Well, that's everything for
Everything
me.
from start to finish. Yeah. Fantastic. Well done, John. That. Man, that really covered everything. It covered,
Yeah.
your buildings are on. It covered the Michigan football, right? Live in the,
Uh-huh.
don't panic.
Don't
Live in the
panic.
moment. Same with fantasy football. So wow, Zach, you got to start doing some more of those recaps. That was very eloquent, very well done.
Okay.
Oh, okay. One last thing.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Our numbers plummeted. Like we had
I
such
know.
a good
I know. I know. We gotta. I was thinking
first week. No, no, but
we gotta
yeah,
start begging for views again. When we begged for views, they happen. They come.
they happen. So I think maybe it's because I'll have to just check, but I put some like hashtags in the description last time. I
Hmm.
don't know if I did that for the episode before. So
Oh.
hashtags might not work.
Okay. We'll take a look. If you made it this far in the podcast, thank you for listening.
Yeah,
Please like it, watch
like it,
it,
love it,
like it, love it, live, laugh,
comment,
love.
subscribe, live, laugh, love.
Take a look at the community channel too, or the community page.
Yes. What was I going to post there? I was going to post this Shakespeare quote.
I think that
Did
was
we
it.
need to post anything else?
I think it was just
Did
a
you want to
Shakespeare
post
quote.
anything else? We'll
No.
post the update of what happens tonight.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Good call. Good call.
Um, but I think I hope everyone liked the Northern Lights picture too.
Hmm. I did. I
That,
thought it
that
was
was
great.
that was a fantastic picture.
Thank you.
But yeah, I'll try to stay active. I'll on the community. So
Perfect.
thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you,
Thank you,
um,
Johnny, for listening to me talk about
Zach.
my
Yeah.
love life and
Oh man, you've earned it. I ramble. I even rambled today. I even got in some Johnny Takeover today on an episode that was supposed to be Zach Takeover. I stole the show too, or I didn't steal the show, but I made it about me again. So um,
no, I love hearing about you, man. So
I don't know if the viewers do. That's the only problem.
the viewers too. They were just pushing your buttons. That's all.
All righty,
All
everyone.
right.
Take care. Have a good evening
Peace.
and a happy Jewish New Year.
Nice.